I'm gonna start recording. So guys,
All right.
welcome to another Sunday Market Blitz. It's June 5th. So we're gonna go through all of our analysis for the week. I haven't actually done some analysis in about 2 weeks now. So we're gonna pull up some charts. We're gonna see how some of the trades played out that I called on one of the previous Sunday Market Blitz sessions. And purpose of the call is really just so you guys can see how me and Nick break down and do our analysis for the week. This is gonna be all swing trading, and yeah, Nick's gonna pretty much kick it off. He's gonna go over a bunch of Forex, pairs, gold, and whatever
Yeah.
else we're gonna go over.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, we've been doing these pretty much every Sunday for the past, what is that, 3+ years now. And then at the end of the week, we'll do like a review. So yeah, as Angelo said, it's a great place to, start the week, see what we're kind of thinking, how we're approaching the week. But yeah, let me get some sharing capability here.
Oh yeah, here you go.
And then this also, this session starts off the week, and we have other sessions through the week that complement this. So they're like touch points essentially. So yeah, this is where it all starts. That's where the magic happens each week. So let's start off as we usually do with DXY, guys. I'm going to run through quite a few pairs here, and we're just going to break it down. So the first thing I'm going to do on DXY is just assess the trend, and that's all we really need here. We're not trading DXY. It makes up for 80% of all trade because it's literally just representing the dollar here. It's showing us the strength of the dollar. So we want to, stop in, see what's going on with the dollar because it has so much influence. It's good to be aware of, the trends, higher time frame stuff, daily, 4-hour, and just be aware of it. And this also, is essentially used as an indicator when we're trading the actual pairs, right? All right, so here's DXY. What's been going on with DXY? We're on the daily. Overall, we could see we're very bullish, right? We do see that we're pulling back now. And this could still technically stay bullish all the way down towards 100. We could see reactions and then new highs from there. This is a transition on the 4-hour taking place, right? We broke this higher low on the 4-hour. We're getting structure now. So really, we're waiting to see if this is going to confirm, if this is a real transition, if this is actually going to give us a lower high and then start pushing lower towards a 100 level. So really 103 is the key level. As long as we're below this, we're looking more bearish, looking to get down towards support. If we're breaking above this, we're considering the dollar, bullish again overall. So this is good information to have, right? Because if the dollar we see rejecting from here and assuming this, new bearish trend, we can then say, okay, the dollar is probably going to be bearish for the next week or, 2. And then we could take that information over to AU, other USD pairs, pretty much all the pairs I'm going to cover, and, use that info. Okay, so this is what DXY is looking like. Okay, it could fall quite a bit, as we were saying, and then we'll see reactions down here. But as of right now, we're just looking for, some strong bearish variations, some volume to kick in. Let's go to the 4-hour and shoot a closer look at it. Right, so this is consolidating essentially, right? Not really any direction yet. This could pop up, reject this level again, and then head lower, or it could, start to tank now. Really a little too early to, tell. Just need a little bit more information. But, that's why we have, key zones. Make things super clear. Okay, so let's go over to AU. And I'm just going to grab the overall trend and then go to the 4-hour and give you guys 2 trade scenarios. So both a bullish outlook and a bearish outlook. Okay, so overall, we are pretty bearish. Let's just zoom out, follow what price action's been doing here on the daily, right? Strong characteristics of a bearish trend is what we're seeing. Lower lows, lower highs, right? Lower lows, lower highs. Then we saw a transition here. Lower high was broken. Price action pushed up. We got a nice higher low for the retest. Pushed up towards 0.76, rejected from there. And at this reversal, so after this reversal took place, we took out 0.74 support and then tanked from there all the way down towards 0.7. We saw a lower low present itself and then price action pulled back. So we are still technically bearish. We could take a look at the resistance levels that are holding price action now. So we saw a lower low, a lower high here. So this is the lower high that has to break for us to consider AU bullish on the daily. So we're close to that now. You can see price action is pretty much right there. The 200 EMA is there as well. So we'll have to go to the 4-hour and, take a look at these 2 trade scenarios. But as of right now, just on the daily, we could already tell that 0.725 is our key zone. We're looking for rejection off of it. If we see a breakthrough and a higher low above, we're then looking at long scenarios. Okay, so let's go to the 4-hour and I'll explain that a little further. Okay, so the 4-hour is pretty bullish, right? Nice 4-hour channel. presenting itself. Here's the daily lower high. That's 0.725, right where we are now. So it makes it pretty easy to see what we need in order to get into a trade. Obviously right at this level, we don't want to enter on anything. We want to see price action kind of, show its hand, play out, do what it's going to do, react in whichever way, and then we'll make a play. If this 4-hour trend is to continue bullish, I want to see this level break, 0.725 break, price action come back, get some sort of structure above, and then I would feel confident in, buying this and longing this. Right now, I'm not going to feel confident because this is a massive resistance level and we could reject. So I'm not going to start buying here if I see an engulfing or something. I want clear structure above this zone, which is causing us resistance, right? We want to turn that into support and then boom, we got a nice trade scenario there. So let's even throw this long tool on and see what this would look like if it did play out this way. Stop loss be somewhere in here. It looks like you can get a comfortable 3-to-1, 2-to-1. So just to leave it at 2-to-1, we're looking at roughly 60 for 120 plus. That's a good trade. And again, you could work with it, get a little more out of it, but that's a good setup and worth waiting for. So just wait for that to kind of show structure above 0.725. That's a good trade. Okay, now what's the opposite? Let's say that this doesn't continue bullish. The 4-hour kind of has, played its hand. This is it here. It runs out of steam at 0.725. We see price action start to push lower. So for me, I would need to see new structure outside of this channel, bearish structure. So I would need to see this break. Ideally, this higher low here breaks. We see some lower highs starting to print themselves, and we get, this setup ideally, but then really the bigger trade would then be this, right? You want to keep looking for structure formation below levels of support, testing as new resistance. So it could be an opportunity here, right? Where it starts just giving us a nice bearish trend now, opportunity on all lower highs. Okay, something like that would be, of interest to us. But really, until we see that structure, guys, we can't do much on this. It's close to, an opportunity. Whichever way it chooses, we'll be ready. But yeah, good room to run either way it chooses. Okay, so that's AU. Let's go to AJ, daily time frame. Same thing. What's the overall trend? And this is super bullish, right? We rallied pretty hard off of our 83 zone down here. What is this? Why have a double zone here? There we go. So we rallied pretty hard off of this 83 zone, rallied all the way up towards 95, pulled back, broke this low at 91, formed structure down here at 88. So let me just go ahead and do this. So this is where we formed structure down here, right? Before it continued bullish. So it's a daily fib, and this is a daily move. So that would make sense that it would form daily structure, right? So that's down here at 88. Then it pushed up. We were looking for reactions at 91. It failed to give us a lower high. Instead, it broke through 91 and then continued with the daily move, hence all this volume, right? So we actually rallied like crazy here on AJ. Price action's resting just near 95. Let's get a closer look. We are technically bullish, but at this point, we're looking for structure because this is pretty, dramatized here. Look at this rally, guys, right? So it popped, conviction there. We actually have a fib on it already. We moved about 444 pips or so, right? No structure. You could just see that. It's pretty much straight up price action. So from here, we have a couple things we could do. I mean, we know we have to wait regardless. So we can kind of, start looking at the market in terms of what do we want to see, what could happen when we see this much volume. Usually consolidation follows to some degree. So we could consolidate up here, right at 95 resistance. We could pull back, start to consolidate near our structure point, 38.2, and also 92.85 support. So this would be the minimum of what we would need to see in order to enter long to continue buying this. Price action pulls back, gives us structure, ideally consolidates, and then gives us entry signals, for the follow through. Some conviction steps in. Then you could look at long scenarios, target 95, maybe higher. Again, it would depend on how price action reacts at resistance. But right now, this is what we would need to see to even consider entering long. And this is what the trade would look like, something like this, just about a 2-to-1. Right. And that's what happens when you see a huge amount of volume come into the market. Right. So last week, this thing just rallied. And you can't just enter on this. Right. You need some structure. You need normal market movement. This is, one move that played out. If you were in on it, good. If you didn't get in on it, step away from it. You don't want to trade that. You missed your window. You now have to wait for the next opportunity. Okay. And that would be, down here. But if that fails to, catch price action, we have this short scenario, which essentially is like riding a higher time frame retracement, right? That if price action breaks 92.85, it's probably going to retrace all the way down to 91 again, which was a very major level for price action. Generally, as we were above, it held all this structure over here as bullish, and then over here, when we were below it, generally, it was holding price action bearish. So this is really the most significant zone recently that we've seen. Okay, so really that could be a reality if we break 92.85, as I was saying. Look for structure below that, good examples of lower highs, good rejection, and then it's just like riding a 4-hour downtrend, and then you would take it down towards 91, wait for reactions again, repeat the process, and so on. But I mean, that's just a couple examples of how this could play out. Really the ideal examples, because I always mark up what I need to see in order to get into a trade. I'm not going to mark up a shit scenario. These are like perfect scenarios in my mind. If neither of these play out, I'm not taking a trade. It's just kind of how it goes. So that's really, the most you could do when you get these high volume moves. You just got to wait. I mean, to give you guys a little perspective too, just until we hit structure. Well, 92.85, 38.2 fib level, it's about 140 pips. That's a lot of movement. Even for AJ, it's a decent amount of moves, decent amount of pips right there. Okay, so that's AJ. Let's move this over to UJ now. This one's absolute shit. It's literally at the bottom of my watch list today, for this week. And we'll get to this in a second. Let me just check chat real quick. Okay, you're on top of it. All right, cool. So daily time frame, guys, what's UJ doing, right? It's bullish. I mean, if you guys don't even know price action at all, you could see that this chart is bullish. It's just moving up. And the scary thing here with UJ is that, look, right, I have a daily fib drawn on this. Let me zoom out a little bit. And that's from when this consolidation broke over here. So conviction kicked in right here. It was the start of this rally, right? And then we have not formed structure yet. So we just kept drawing the fib all the way to the top, the higher high here. And look where structure is, 38.2, all the way down here. So that's ugly, right? This thing needs to pull back. We need to see, some sort of gigantic retracement, because this thing is just living off daily movement right now. We're chilling at the high. It's obviously overvalued. It's overextended. It's just piggybacking whatever the DXY is doing and then, exaggerating it. So it's a tough pair to trade right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So the daily time frame is bullish. We know we need structure. Let's go to the 4-hour. Then I'll kind of break down what I'm seeing. So no real trades yet. I'm thinking more so we need some consolidation like this over here. Just price action needs to slow down. We're at 131. Okay, let's get some reactions from here. It's even forming similarly how it did over here. Huge rally, lots of momentum right into 131, much like we're seeing now. So I wouldn't mind some consolidation, even medium volume stuff, whatever, just slow down so that we could see either a reversal or some sort of continuation here on the 4-hour specifically. Ideally, we know we want price action to dump, right? We want it to get down towards 125. So this would be of interest to us. Let me get the bar pattern. If we could do something like this, right? Price action slows down. We get some consolidation, get some lower highs, makes it more clear for us to spot maybe some trend between 131, 127.5. Now, granted, if you're trading this, there's going to be some risk here because we haven't formed structure, so price action could really tank. So the safest bet is to just look for shorts on this after you see an apparent trend. So, right, don't try and short now just because I said so. You have to see a trend present itself. So notice here, or at the very least, a 4-hour trend. Right, so let's say we get some consolidation now. Okay, let's square that up. We get some consolidation now, right? There's like a lower time from higher low there. That breaks. We get some more consolidation, lower high, some rejection, strong bearish setups, especially if we get that, with a little bit less volume. So there's some better risk to reward by this 129 level. That then would be of interest to us. If this just starts pumping volume to the downside, there's not going to be a trade. It's going to skew your risk to reward. But I just wanted to highlight, UJ to some extent, because I know there's not going to be a clear trade, or probably not. So we're just talking out some scenarios. Okay, and this would be one of them. Just we need consolidation. An apparent 4-hour bearish trend presents itself, then we'll feel comfortable shorting and entering specifically on lower highs. So then this could even, so that would be one entry. And then you would look for lower highs here as well, playing down ultimately towards 125. But I mean, this is going to be tough. I mean, it's definitely trapped, 131 to 127.5. We're looking at 400 pip swings. So, I want you guys to be able to capitalize on that to some degree and know what to look for. Because again, these are big swings. But, just be aware that UJ is in a sketchy spot, super overvalued. Yeah. Interesting. So that's UJ. Yeah, I'm not even going to really give you guys a long scenario because I just wouldn't feel right about it. It's not really that safe to be buying this right now. You need to see more. So let's move over to EJ, get over to something a little more clear. So let's jump to the daily time frame. EJ is looking bullish. Okay, so we broke out of a very large higher time frame flag here. This was the rally that kind of broke it. We rallied up towards 140, came back down, formed structure around 133, and then continued higher. Okay, you can see structure was formed here, and this kind of looks like it's continuing with that daily move, right? This is like a daily break and retest, right? Daily higher high here, daily higher low. What's next? Daily higher high. At least that's what it's looking like according to price action right now. So that finds us right around 144, our negative 27% fib level, which is insane. I mean, that's pretty high, still almost 400 pips away, but that's pretty high for EJ. I mean, we're overvalued, guys, on a lot of pairs up in areas we haven't seen since, I mean, geez, look at this. Last time we broke this level was December 2013,
What is
November
this,
2013.
EJ?
Yeah. But this is what we're seeing on a lot of pairs. We're in areas we haven't seen in years. It's pretty wild. Right. So this also says to me that, we're getting to sketchy territory. We could be seeing reversals as we've seen in the past, high volume stuff. I mean, this is just crazy volume, coming off this level. But let's go back down. Let's go to the daily. I just wanted to point that out, that we're seeing some, really, really historic levels. Okay, so here we are on daily, right? The overall trend was bullish. We see we're above 137. That was acting as resistance. And we were ultimately, a while back here, we're looking for a higher low above that to continue. I mean, we clearly have a very high break above this time, but no higher low yet. So let's take a look at the 4-hour, see what that's doing. Okay, so here was the break, right? We broke above 137. And now it's looking like we're just getting these higher highs, higher lows, just a super strong, bullish trend going on right now. And that's not uncommon for EJ. When EJ breaks out or chooses a direction, it often just runs, where it'll give you 1 or 2 entry opportunities like this one here, and then it'll just take off to its next target. Now, we've already identified that this is really a daily move, so it could keep going. I would just advise to look for structure forming higher lows along the way, right, to enter long on. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I mean, we don't see price action like this that often. I mean,
Yeah,
look
if
at
you
this.
guys in the chat, if you guys have ideas, I see some people posting their own ideas about what we're going over. Feel free to post. Feel free to post in there if you guys want feedback. If you have any ideas for any of the pairs that we're going over. I saw Ray, you said you want to do AUD CAD. We don't normally cover AUD CAD. It's not really a pair that me or Nick individually actually look at. But if you had a chart that you wanted to share, if you had an idea, feel free to drop in the chat. We could take a look at it.
Yeah. Also, for like on Monday, when we do the Discord live sessions, that's really where we kind of open the floor up. You could share ideas, actually share your chart and just collaborate with like a few dozen traders that we have on there. It's like a 2-hour session every Monday night for free. It's public, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. They're great sessions. But back to the analysis here. 4 hours. So this rally alone, just since we broke 137, is already up 350 pips, right? So this is actually pretty high volume stuff. So if you get a pretty good pullback, good structure, you could consider longs up towards higher resistance levels. Now, for us to consider short scenarios in EJ, we really want to break back below 137. This could pull back to 137 and bounce off it and still be bullish. If we break below 137, see some sort of rejection, retrace, get that lower high, new structure, and then there's an apparent, bearish 4-hour trend, then you could get confident in shorting. Okay, but really there's nothing here in all this price action that says, hey, I'm bearish, short me, not at all. If we see this, like we see this is screaming, short the hell out of me. We just form new structure below a major level. And then boom, we're targeting, again, guys, look at this volume, right? 400 roughly. And then that means you could bring this thing way up. You got a lot of room. So just for bare minimum, I always do 2 to 1 if you guys don't know, because one of my rules for a trade is I won't enter it unless it's minimum 2 to 1. So I always kind of use that as a benchmark to kind of see what my maximum risk is. And if we're targeting 400, that means I can risk 200 max and be safe. Right? So we can even bring that down because this is really a great trade. We're looking at a 3 to 1, pretty safe. 130 we're risking to get 400, and there'll be plenty of opportunity to exit the trade or make decisions if it goes wrong, because this is a sizable stop loss. We're well protected. We're above the whole zone entirely and then some. So that's what EJ is looking like for this week. I mean, I just think it's going to keep rallying. I don't even know if we'll get clear higher lows, but we could be hopeful, and when we see them, we'll enter on them. But yeah, for those of you guys that did enter on this break or this first higher low with this beautiful bullish engulfing candle, or well, just strong candle itself, good for you. You're definitely in a winner. If not, we gotta wait, and that's just trading. So let's jump over to gold. This is actually going to be the last asset that I'm going to analyze before passing it off to Angelo, and we're going to do no different here on gold, right? Daily time frame. What's the overall trend? So let's follow price action. We started off over here pretty bullish, huge rally. We shot all the way to 2070, pulled back. We retraced towards to 1930 support, and we were consolidating from there. So this was really the main level that we were considering. If price action was above it, we were looking bullish. If we were below it, we were looking more bearish. Okay, especially after this consolidation had kind of set in. This was, let's see how long this was. Oh, shoot. Let's go back. How long was this consolidation? About almost a month. So it's a long time to wait on consolidation, to be honest. Right. So from there, it broke bullishly. There were some setups there, but it didn't really play out towards, a new high or anything. It actually just fell short of 2000. So it still was a good trade. You would have had plenty of opportunity to cut that. But from there, this thing went super bearish. It tanked through the range, right? No respect whatsoever, just blew right through it, and 1930. We rejected a little bit and then plummeted all the way down towards 1800. Now price action's on the pullback, and we can see we have a new major zone, 1870. So what does that mean? Right? If we're generally below it, we're looking bearish because that's what the trend is suggesting. If we're above it, we're looking bullish. So that would mean we need to see structure above 1870, some higher lows, some strong bullish variations, good candlestick formation, and then we can get confident about buying. But right now, we haven't broken 1870. We can gather that from the daily, right? We haven't broken this level yet, so we still are bearish. So let's go to the 4-hour and then consider 2 scenarios, one bullish, one bearish. Okay, so we can see we're still consolidating. There was an attempted break there, failed to really give us a lower high and follow through. It really just rejected off 1830 pretty hard. But we still are consolidating, right? We have the 200 EMA coming down. We're still below 1870. So ideally, if we want to continue with the overall trend, we want to look for lower highs below support levels. This would be the first setup. And again, this would be tough to kind of make work. The price action really has to be there, because let's see, it's got to be at least 2 to 1 by 1830. And it would look something like this. So yeah, this would actually be just about 2 to 1. And its price action would have to form like really perfectly. So price action would drop, give us a low, come back up, give us a lower high. That would be trade number 1. The second would then be this, right? Structure below 1830, which is our weekly zone. And we're looking to target back down towards 1800, which is our prior lower low. And this is a better risk reward. So this is the safer trade. This one could get a little sketchy. You don't want to force it. If the price action is not there, if it's not clear and there's too much volume or something, it's going to skew the risk reward. It's not going to make it a trade worthwhile. You're better off just waiting for the 1830 break then. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, for us to consider gold bullish, we need structure above 1870. So price action pops above, it breaks through the zone, gives us some sort of high up here, pulls back, rejects off this level, gives us the higher low, and then we'll look to enter on some bullish variations or like a morning star or something, just some sort of conviction. Okay. But yeah, that's gold. I mean, consolidation's a bitch. There's really not much you can do with it, especially high volume stuff. It makes it really, really tricky. But yeah, this is gold. I mean, I think it's going to continue bearish. I really do. I think we'll see some nice structure down here, especially. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for this week. So quick recap. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. And these are active charts. I posted them on TradingView. They're also in the Telegram on Discord. So if you guys want to, look at these, compare it to your own, or maybe jump back on one of the, the session tomorrow even or something, and go over analysis. Yeah. So you guys want to pass off to Angelo? But yeah,
Nice
thank you
work.
guys.
Yeah, I was muted there, but definitely a lot of good ideas for the week. A lot of people are saying they're enjoying the analysis in the chat. If you guys are new, haven't been on a session before, pretty much every single week, with the exception of I think last week, we hop on, we do the Sunday Market Blitz. And what this is again, we're just going through all of our analysis, me and Nick, because we still do analysis every single week on certain pairs. And we're just looking for swing trading ideas. So this is pretty much just doing breakdowns, kind of showing you guys what our trading style is. And if you guys find any of these ideas valuable, if they line up with anything that you guys are looking at, feel free to use this as extra confirmation to go ahead and enter into the market. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share my screen here. Boom.
Oh, he's starting off strong right into the BTC.
Yeah.
That's good. Love it.
Yeah, starting off strong with the BTC. So yeah, we're gonna run through a bunch of analysis here. Someone asked if we're gonna do US 30. I don't really trade US 30 at all. I look at NAS 100 though. So we're gonna go over NAS 100. We're gonna pretty much go over everything on this list. So we're gonna start with DXY and then we're gonna work our way down. We're gonna end with BTC. I'm not gonna get into any of these other crypto pairs that are down here. For now, maybe we'll look at one other one. I don't have it on here. Maybe we'll look at one other one at the end. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop in there. We're gonna do a giveaway. So we're gonna give away one 50K challenge. And in order to enter on the 50K challenge, you guys need to post on the Instagram story that you guys are on the Sunday Market Blitz. So if you guys just post a video of us doing the analysis, whatever, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. If you post on your IG story, I know that's quite difficult for some people. You guys will get entered in. We'll do a little giveaway. I'm also going to post about it in the Discord too. So that's one way to qualify for the giveaway. So let's pretty much get into it. We're going to start off with DXY again. I haven't actually looked at the charts in pretty much 2 weeks. So this is going to be pretty interesting. And right away, what I'm noticing is I've got some levels marked up here. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. I always like to start on the weekly time frame because we're always trying to just get an overall picture as to what's going on. So I pretty much have this level marked right here. You can see it's a bit little light marks here, but going back, why is this level here, right? So literally zooming out, we can see we have resistance all in this area. We have resistance. We could even zoom in a little bit. We have resistance all in this area. You can see the wicks that are coming up. We have support there. And then moving to the right, we have resistance here. And then pretty much the last time that I analyzed the chart, we were right at this level. And it was like, what is DXY going to do? Is DXY going to keep running to the upside? Or is it going to pull back? And obviously, as you guys can see, came up to the level, rejected it, pulled back. Now we're at our support level. This is a perfect area to look for buys, to look for it to bounce to the upside. So, don't overcomplicate things. Look at where your levels are. You can clearly see, I have this level marked because of that and everything else we just showed. If we even go up to the monthly time frame, we can see on the monthly time frame as well that it's respecting these levels. We can see a little bit more clearly. Look at the wick, support, resistance, and then that's a very strong level. I'm always looking for multiple points of resistance or support along these monthly and weekly timeframes to really see what's going on with that pair, if this is a level or not. And then now we're at a basic great support level. So let's start to work our way down. We're on the weekly right now. You can see I had these levels marked on the 4-hour time frame pretty much when we were all the way back here. So I don't know what Sunday market blitz this was, but it was several weeks ago. And as you can see, I was either looking for it to bounce and go to the upside, which we did have a little bit of a bounce, or I was looking for it to break and go to the downside. So if we just look at this in very simple man's terms, looking at market structure, we're always trying to see, are these higher lows being respected? We could see this level of support was broken. There never was a resistance that was held there and ended up blowing through. And then this thing ended up moving to the upside like that, boom. And then what happened here? We ended up breaking the support and then moving to the downside. So I always like to kind of map this out, especially for the beginners on the session, because this is very easy to see market structure, because what we can do is we can just hide this right here. Let's just remove some of this, So we can see market structure move to the upside. We had a higher high, we had a higher low. We actually had a break of support right there. Then we moved up. What happened? We had another higher low. So this thing ended up pushing to the upside. We could have got, based on the rules that I kind of go by, we could have actually got like tricked in this area. This was like a supply zone. This was a resistance level. You know, we definitely could have been taking shorts here and basically got stopped out on this, which is fine. But then as you could see, we could either use this level or we could even use this level as a support level. These are previous higher lows. You can see we just had a break and then we had a retest of this is like a perfect area to actually take a sell at, would be break of support, retest of resistance, right? We're always looking to enter on lower highs. You can even throw the fibs on this, and that's like right at the 38.2 as well. So this is definitely a great area to be shorting this pair, and then ended up breaking the support level. So now we're trending to the downside very clearly. And then this would be another great area to enter on. We had a break of support. This is also previous support. We had a retest. And then if you wanted to use your fibs, I don't use them as much at this point, but you can just clearly see we're at a support level. And then you got 38.2 there as well. So there's a lot of confirmations there for you guys to enter into the market. And you can bring the actual candlesticks back on and you can see, right, like the market came up to your resistance level. You have price action there as well. We had an engulfing. So these are all great kind of signs for you to take shorts in these scenarios. And then taking this off, let's hide this again. So taking this off, we can clearly see that price then broke support, came down. We hit another level of support down here. We ended up bouncing off. We had a lower high. I wouldn't personally have probably taken a trade at this level. I mean, unless it came up a little bit higher, then it came down. We had a break of support, another retest of resistance. Probably would have been trying to short it in this area. And then now we're currently at is we actually have a break of resistance. And this thing is now looking like it could potentially move to the upside. So this is a good example of, this is an uptrend, and then this is moving to the downside. This is a downtrend, and then now we're looking for this to go back to the upside because it's now transitioning back into an uptrend. So pretty good examples of like flow and market structure right here on DXY. And keeping this in mind, let's just get these on here. Keeping this in mind, you know, what are we looking for pretty much at this level? We don't want to overcomplicate things. We could bring on the fibs if we want. We're always looking near the 61.8, the 38.2, the 75. Those are pretty much the best areas to look for reversals. I don't really even use that anymore. I'm really just looking for support. And if we bring the candlesticks back on, we can see there was an engulfing at this level. So pretty much, I mean, if you were to take a trade on DXY, you know, you'd be putting your stops somewhere in this area, because if it breaks this area, you're screwed anyway. And then you'd be targeting that previous resistance level, which is pretty much up there. You know, if you have the fibs on, you could use the 27, the 61, but you know, I'm not using that. Ideally, you get in down here on the engulfing a little bit closer, and then you have like a 5-to-1, 6-to-1 risk reward ratio, you know, but we're a little late. You could always wait for another pullback, but I would just, at this point, it's already confirmed. I mean, if you're in the trade, you're expecting it to run to the upside. So this is pretty much DXY, looking for it to potentially go to the upside. So coming over to NU, so this was several weeks ago, the analysis that I had on here. So let's just go back to the point at which that one was on. Hold on 1 second. Getting this Uber Eats delivered. So let's look at this. We're clearly in a downtrend on the weekly time frame on NU. You know, we were moving to the upside, then we broke support, trending to the downside. We really started trending here. And then we obviously broke support there. So several weeks ago, we had just basically closed with no wick. And then, you know, from that point, you know, a bunch of people are jumping in sells, getting fucking burned. We were waiting for the retest, and the easiest area to look for the retest is just previous support on the weekly, which is right there. So that's very clearly what we were looking for on the weekly time frame. And then coming down to the 4-hour time frame, this is basically what we saw is we were right here, right? And we were just waiting for this to come up and either break support and short on the resistance, or wait for it to come up and retest all the way up there. So we can see we never actually rejected this area. Then we actually came up, we hit our entry area, and then this thing ended up moving significantly to the downside. And you can see it's just trending on the 4-hour time frame, making lower lows and lower highs all the way down to like lowest time frames there. We don't actually end up hitting the support level or the next support level, which is pretty interesting. Let's actually move up back to the weekly. And let's kind of see if we could have potentially put this support level in a better spot. So this support level is based on, it's actually based on support here, and then resistance there. So there's really no better spot I would have put that support level. So it is what it is. Ended up coming back, even though we were in deep profits and we were up 2.6 to 1 at that point. So definitely would have closed some profits on that. But that was a couple of weeks ago. Let's actually look at like what the hell is going on right now. Let's kind of clear things up. Let's come back to the weekly, because I always like to start on the weekly time frame. I think it's like one of the best time frames to swing trade off of, or at least to start your higher time frame analysis. So this level, why is it here? We have support, we have support, we have support right there, and then we have resistance. We have some shit going on in this area, nothing too crazy, but we have several areas where basically it acted as support or resistance. So we definitely want to use this as a potential level. And then again, this is the previous low, this is the previous resistance level. And then looking at price action, what I like to do on the weekly is I look for the trend, clearly bearish. I like to look for the support and resistance levels. And then I also like to look for price action. So we're at a resistance level. We just formed this spinning top, which is a reversal candle. If we were to bring on a fib, we're at a reversal area. I don't love using fibs that much anymore, but we are at a reversal level. So we should be seeing some sort of reversal to the downside. And that also lines up with DXY. If DXY is going to go bullish, right? If the dollar is going to be gaining strength, then NU most likely is going to lose strength. It's mostly going to go to the downside. So we would need to see something like this happening. I don't love this support level being right here, but basically we would need to see a break of this trend. We would need a break support. We would have to use this as resistance. We'd want to see something very similar to this. We want to see downside or a downward movement. We want to see a break of support, and then we want to see a trend start to form to the downside. So we'll see on NU if this does end up playing out. If something like this happens, where price ends up breaking, I'm actually going to put it in this area, ends up breaking. This is like the best area to enter on. If it breaks support here, then a retest, we have stops above here, and then we're just always targeting the next zone. So this would be a huge trade to the downside, huge swing trade. And then on the flip side, you know, if this thing does continue to move to the upside, if it breaks resistance here, we'd pretty much just be looking for the opposite of this idea. We would just be looking for, we'd be targeting all the way up here. It's a pretty wide target, but that's our next weekly zone. And then we pretty much put stops wherever. It really depends how this price action forms over here. But this would be a huge trade opportunity on the flip side to the upside. So I'm just going to leave this here. And this is pretty much what we're looking for. Is we're looking to see, does this volume kick in? to the upside. If it does, we probably want to be in this trade to the upside. If this starts to break down, lines up with the weekly overall trend. So this is way higher probability than this trade. So this is definitely trade idea number 1 here, trade idea number 2 up there. So let's go over to GU next. So several weeks ago, we were on this, we were trying to get shorts, didn't end up triggering, but it was the right idea. So pretty much when we were trying to get shorts, we were down here. We had this reversal candle, the spinning top, not necessarily at the support level, but this market was way overextended. So let's do this. I'm going to actually clear some of these drawings. Let's draw some zones. So I always start on the weekly, like I said, and I like to just zoom out and try to get an overall picture. You know, where do I potentially see some zones? I definitely see something major going on up here. And the reason I'm marking that is we have resistance all on this area. We have some resistance here. We have some choppy support. Then we have some choppy area, but we have resistance there, resistance, 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 resistance. And then we have like a little bit of a pullback here, some major support right there. So this is definitely a strong level that if it comes to, and then obviously I actually missed this. We have this where it's dumped to the downside. So that is definitely a level that we want to be looking at. And then to the downside, this area is definitely a level. And if we zoom out, we can see price has actually never been this low previously. So this is pretty much no man's land all the way down here. Price has not broken support down here, which is why I marked this. And then we do have this wick that just formed. So I'm just going to move this up just a little bit. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but do have a wick to confirm that area again. And then if we do want to mark another zone, I'm seeing something in this area. The reason that I'm marking this one is not just because of woo-woo, it's because we have resistance here, we have support here, we have support here, support, we have resistance, support. And this is not minor or major. This is not minor, this is major resistance and support. Look how it moved off of this, moved to the upside, moved to the upside, move to the downside, move to the downside, move to the upside. So when price hits these levels, we want to be very, very careful. So looking at this, guys, looking at this right now, I am not 100% certain as to what to do, right? Looking at DXY definitely looks like we should be shorting this. I mean, looking at this just within like 3 seconds, I can tell that we have a pattern here. So we have this head and shoulders pattern. So this is something that we definitely should be looking at. We definitely should be waiting to see if this does break. It is kind of imbalanced in the sense that it's pointing down. So how you want to trade these head and shoulders patterns is realistically, you do want to get in on the right shoulder. You want to get in up here. We're a little bit late at this point. You know, say we were to short it right now and put stops up here and then target support. We have all this room that price can come up to, which we could then get stopped out of. So where we want to actually get in on this trade, and because I just like this pattern, is we would want to get in on this trade right here. Right, so once it actually breaks the support, continues to the downside, this would then be a good area into the trade. So I'm going to move this over. This would be the trade. It would be executing if we do end up breaking support and then coming down there. So I was thinking, like, because we have resistance up here, I was actually going to wait until it hits resistance, but this is a good enough pattern to trade. Pretty clear. I mean, it's clear as day on the 4-hour time frame. So if we get this continuing to move to the downside, definitely want to consider taking shorts in this scenario. So that's GU. Let's leave that up there. Let's go to GJ. Let's see if we can get a different idea in here. You can see all this madness going on GJ. Going up to the weekly time frame right here. Let's not do that. Going up to the weekly time frame right here. We can, this is kind of a bit choppy. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Basically, if we were to clear some of this up, I don't want to, because I want to show you guys on the lower time frame, but we have this resistance level here, this red zone, right? Like, why is this zone here? I'm going to just go back. This zone is based on resistance, support, all in this area, support, and then we have some support here. We have resistance down here. We have resistance touching that area again right there, right? So this is a main level here. And then if we were to just clear all this, we'll bring it back on in a second. Pretty much when we were around this area, I was looking for reversals because we had this, whatever you want to call this, inverted hammer candle or whatever, doji candle. This thing formed. So after that, that's definitely a reversal candle. And then pretty much after that, we were just looking for shorts on GJ right from there. So let's bring all of this back on. And let's come down to the 4 hour. So 4 hour time frame, once that doji candle formed, we were looking for shorts. The first area to short from was this right shoulder. So we had a head and shoulders pattern form very similar to the one that we just saw on GU. We had that pattern form, and then we had a break of support. I was looking to get in on the retest, which would have been up here. Didn't end up hitting that area, so I actually didn't get triggered on the trade. So that's fine. But then as you can see, ended up moving to the downside. A lot of times the head and shoulders patterns will basically move the same distance as the like whatever the distance between this, the neckline, and the head. As you can see, that was not the case, but it is what it is. Did end up hitting down here. I don't really know what that is though, that's support level or not. But let's clear some of this up and let's hop up to the weekly one more time. So let's see what's going on in the weekly time frame. Weekly, we're in an this is okay. So this was definitely a support level down here. We could see it's just previous resistance, previous higher high. So it hit that level, then it started forming to the upside. So I'm pretty weary on what to do with this one. I'm actually curious, if you guys are trading GJ this week, what do you guys think about this one? Obviously, it broke out of this downtrend, right? It was trending very clearly to the downside, and then this thing just broke to the upside. But now we're facing this wall of resistance right here. And the weekly is bullish, right? This is bullish all the way. So really, I would not be taking buys until this gets above this support level. And then I'd be looking for something like that, like very roughly on the weekly time frame. So it's kind of at an area where it's hard to trade. Interested, Ibra, if you trade GJ, if it's your favorite pair, what's your take on GJ for the week? I personally, because I literally can't figure out or determine what my bias is within, right away. I, just don't have an idea for this week. So that's completely fine. So I'm going to move this one down the watch list. I'm going to still keep it above here. So let's go over to Ucad. So Ucad, we had some good trades play out on this one a couple weeks ago. And this is just simple stuff, guys. This is just using support and resistance, right? This is not doing anything crazy here. Yeah, the strategy is very simple. So on the weekly time frame, right, we're always starting on the weekly. We're looking for our levels and we're looking for the trend and we're looking for price action, right? So several weeks ago, we were up at this level right here, and I had marked this because we had support, we had resistance, we had resistance, we had resistance over and over again. We could even go back more. We had support, resistance. This is definitely a key zone that price is either going to bounce off of and then go to the upside, or it's going to reject. And this is the same thing as GJ. Why did we take shorts in this area? We had this inverted hammer candle or doji candle, whatever you want to call it. Right after that, we're looking for shorts. We have weekly resistance and we have a huge reversal candle, right? There's no reason to be looking for buys in that area. And then coming down to the 4 hour time frame, if we just go back, this is when the analysis was actually done, was when it was in this area. So we were, in a similar to GJ right now, is we were basically in an uptrend on the 4 hour, but the weekly had a strong resistance level. So I'm not trying to buy this. I'm trying to see where is the reversal going to come. So it pushes to the upside, right? And then as soon as this happens, this is now the clear sign to start looking for sells, whether we're going to fib here or we're going to fib from the upside. I probably would fib from here. But again, I'm not using fibs as much lately. I'm more just using support and resistance levels. So ideally, right, we get a retest of the red zone. So you can see price comes up, it retests the red zone because that's ultimately where there's a lot of sellers sitting at. And then you'd be sitting in this trade and then, however it plays out, it plays out. But that's definitely the best area to enter from. Let's just go and move this ahead, and it ended up moving to the downside. It actually comes up and almost tests this area again, but pretty much, guys, that's using the weekly time frame, going down to the 4-hour time frame, looking for the break of support, and then trying to get on the trade. So looking at where we are, where we're actually at now on the weekly has been making this like push to the upside. It's pretty weak, right? I mean, it's not creating crazy higher highs, but we have to keep in mind, I mean, this is the trend. Currently, it is approaching this resistance level multiple times. It keeps bouncing between this range. So right now, what am I thinking? I mean, I'm not doing anything with Ucad until it comes to support, right? If we come to the 4-hour time frame, this is just bearish all the way. I can't do anything with this, right? I mean, if I wanted to be super aggressive, I'd pretty much just set a sell limit right here at the resistance. You just put the stop loss above this level and you just target the support, right? Like that would be a decent idea, little higher risk because I like to trade near my weekly zones, right? So like once price comes down, say that did happen, once price comes down here, this is when I'm then looking for that reversal where I'm looking to then bring this thing back to the upside. So I'm going to leave this on here. We're going to be back. We'll be back next week. We're going to start to drop the link for this inside of the TFT groups. We can start doing the live analysis for everybody. So we're going to see next week, how this plays out. We'll get everybody on here and, we'll be doing giveaways. We'll be getting people to share their ideas. It's kind of the first week. Nick, I actually dropped the link in the funded trader group this week. Probably going to just start doing that. We'll just do analysis on Sundays with all the funded people. I mean,
that makes sense. I had the thought that you might have dropped it in there.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean,
absolutely.
People want to do the analysis, so we're gonna start doing. I mean, we do it anyway, right? I mean, we've been doing it, like you said, literally for 3 years every Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. More. Yeah, if people want to join, then they could join.
Yeah,
I agree. It's a good idea.
Yeah, we've been doing it, fucking forever at this point. So yeah, we'll be doing the sessions. Yeah, we'll be doing the sessions. So we have a few more pairs. I'm gonna do Nas 100. I've been trading this one, at least been following it. And honestly, like I started following this one probably about 2 months ago, just kind of with the same approach that I was taking on these other pairs. But I noticed, I don't trade US 30. I noticed that this thing is really, I'm not gonna say it's easy to trade, but this thing definitely shows some really good trade opportunities. And pretty much ever since, it doesn't take a genius to look at this. We had a trend to the upside, ended up breaking. We had our first resistance level right here. So we had support turned into resistance, 2 opportunities to take shorts there. Now we have this support level right here. And, look where we're at. We're coming back up right near that zone. We have that spinning top. So again, guys, what I like to look for on the weekly time frame is what is my support level, right? What is my support or resistance level? What is the trend? This is bearish. And then what is the price action telling us? This is spinning top. It's a reversal signal at the resistance level in line with the trend. So this is really exactly what we're trying to look for. We're trying to look for trades for. Now, coming down to the 4-hour, when would I actually execute on a trade with this? Looking at the way that it is now, there's two ways to go about trying to get in on a trade with this. You either set a limit here. This is the much riskier way. You have a supply zone up here, right? You set a limit here. You got tight stops and you just have so much room for this thing to run. Or, you go based on what we've been kind of showing, wait for the clean break of support, wait for it to pull back, and then take a clean entry, in line with the trend on the 4-hour time frame, which would look similar to this. So this is like the more realistic trade. This is kind of, who knows if this will happen. It might come up here, but this is definitely a bit riskier, but the risk reward is definitely way better. The risk reward here is shit. We got to adjust this. It probably would be more in this area, depending how this forms. So it'd be at least a 4-to-1 risk reward right there. But this one's obviously 7-to-1 risk reward. And, if you want to put the stops a little wider, it could even be 5-to-1 risk reward. So know your zone. So that's Nas 100. And then last one. So BTC, I'm not, margin trading this or anything. I'm really just looking at this on the weekly time frame, and this is pretty much just my positions on BTC. I mean, me and Nick went over this several weeks ago, or I guess months ago at this point, whenever this trade was taken, March 22nd or March 7th. So we went over this, I had executed a buy in this area, ended up, I think I did a 100K trade, and then it ended up going up, 27%. So I ended up 28,000 at the peak. And then the epic fall, like, the epic fall off.
Oh
So,
man.
yeah, so now this thing's in some drawdown, right? Down 23%, right? So, I mean, what I did was I identified where my next level was. This is my next level of support that I'm willing to buy at. I did a little dollar cost average, I saw this is the strategy they teach you at McDonald's at the bottom of the kids meal, right? They tell you the dollar cost fucking average, upgrade the soda from what, the medium to the large is only 20 cents or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they
So
get you.
we're fucking upgrading the sodas down here at this support level. So we're locked in, and then pretty much the last level, before I just start getting real sad and just crawling a hole somewhere, is gonna be down here. So once price gets down to this level, because it probably will, knowing that BTC hates us and just loves to see us sad, it's probably gonna come down to that level, and then the target, as always, is gonna be 100K, right? I mean, everyone talks about it, and it's pretty much what everyone psychologically thinks it's gonna come to. Who knows when? I mean, I have forecasted this idea, which is pretty much based on this whole entire fucking mess down here, right? So this is a very similar kind of bounce around and then end up pushing to the upside. So, let's see what happens here. If price comes down here, I put in another 40K, and then it goes to 100K, I end up with fucking a million. 600, I end up with 656,000. So I mean, let's see what happens.
Trade of the year right there.
Yeah, let's see what happens here from Diamond Hands starting to work at McDonald's. Yeah, I mean, then if it ends up going to zero, I mean, I just lose 200K, and then I just fucking get a job, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good strategy. So
Leave BTC
we're gonna call
alone.
this called the McDonald's strategy, because there's literally no thought involved. I mean, I guess there is, but very little. But we're
You
gonna
already
call-
got TFT job.
yeah, I'm gonna apply for a job at TFT if this fucking goes south. How about that?
Submit your resume. I'll look it over, Angelo, and we'll consider you. One of my people will reach out.
Let's see. Oh, we got Ash. Oh, we don't want to see this.
Uh,
I don't know what that is. We don't want to see that. Don't be dropping US one on, dude. Don't be dropping that. I don't want to see that chart.
Save that for Monday night, Ash.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, guys, follow. We're gonna literally be here every Sunday I mean, we've been here every Sunday the last 3 years. So the last crypto run, I held Tron from 2017 to 2022, and I ended up making decent money off Tron, holding it forever. And if you guys are not familiar with what happened to Tron, we
He's
can
a
pull it up.
prophet.
Oh, look, I've got another Tron.
Loaded up, ready to go.
I got another Tron loaded up, for the target's 35.
Hey, that's some good structure right there. I like where it's holding.
Yo, I've got the Tron. Yo, this is a buy. This is a buy. Like, people sleep, but this is the last time, Tron, I loaded up on Tron. I think I bought like around 11 cents or maybe even higher. Like, I would just load it up on Tron, and I was in significant drawdown, like significant.
Oh
And
man.
then, what I started to do, someone said it's the Taco Bell, Jay Birds is a Taco Bell strategy.
Oh, okay.
What I started to do is I just started to buy the bottom. I just started to buy down here. I executed a buy in December of 2019. I think it was actually December of 2020. So it was right here. I just kept dollar cost averaging. So I executed a buy here. I put like 5K in down here, was buying all over here. and then it shot up, 600%. So not a bad little return there for Tron.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good week right there.
I'm gonna add Tron. I might be getting back in Tron, honestly. So that's pretty much it. We got the McDonald's strategy. Can't even spell right, so wouldn't even get a job at McDonald's at this point. So we got the McDonald's strategy where you turn 200K to 656K or you go broke. So it's pretty good strategy. And then we've got the fucking Taco Bell strategy on Tron. So we'll see what happens. So guys, we'll be on here. I'm gonna start posting the links in the TFT chat. So we'll be on here on Sundays. Me and Nick, your color commentators, your TV personalities for the charts for the week. And these sessions are recorded, so we're gonna post them on our YouTube, so you guys can come on the YouTube and rewatch it if you guys missed it. But we are gonna do a giveaway. So this is the absolute last chance. If you guys want to post on your Instagram story, 50K challenge giveaway, the McDonald's strategy. It's a good one. So post it on your story if you guys can. Last chance. Say that you're on the Blitz, whatever. You guys can say you hate us. We don't really care. We're gonna post it anyway. And that's pretty much it for the Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Another one in the books, and we'll be here next Sunday. If you guys need a good laugh, stop in, say what's up. We'll be here.
So confused. Is this Carlos Rico? He goes, where's the giveaway? Carlos R.
It's another guy. Just another Carlos.
I'm like, bro, you are the giveaway.
Oh, you could at Forex League here.
Yeah, So at Forex League. Oh yeah, we should have said that. Oh, so for you newcomers, at Forex League. How the heck is Angela still posting on Discord? Josh, we're mobile.
We can't give away all the secrets.
We're agile. We're everywhere we need to be. I'm answering tickets. I'm posting in general. You know what I'm saying? We are live on the fucking Discord right now. So
whatever the job requires.
Yeah.
Multitaskers, galore.
We're fucking there. Dude, who knows? Maybe we get Blake on for a
second. Yeah, I'd be down. I would love that.
Because we all know Blake loves his fucking Wyckoff.
Yeah, we'll get some waves going. You guys would love that, I'm sure.
We'll get Blake
He's a good trader.
We'll read Revelations. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the session. Best of luck this week in the markets. We'll announce the winner and giveaway winner in the Discord. And thanks again, guys, for joining.
Yeah. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace.